Donald Trump and his legal problems have dominated the week in US news, but in the last 24 hours, the former president has had a bit of a win. Joining me live is Justin Levitt, Loyola Law School professor and White House senior policy advisor for democracy and voting rights. A very good morning to you, our time, Justin. When I say Trump has had a win, I refer to the 2-year criminal investigation into the Trump organisation's valuations of that golf club in Westchester County, New York.
It's true that there were developments all over the place this coming week. Some have run in favor of the former president and his businesses, and some decidedly against. I think the most serious criminal charges that he's currently facing are the federal indictment that was new this past week, unveiled about mishandling and mistreating classified information. But there are a number of different investigations underway, and in some of them he's gotten good news, and others not so much.
It's always been the thing when people are facing charges, whether it be in the United States, Australia or anywhere, that they tend to stay quiet until it's run its course. It's certainly not the case with the former president. And he's come out here and he's basically said, well, here you see the result, all the other cases are fake as well. It's quite extraordinary.
It is quite extraordinary, and criminal defense lawyers will tell you that a talkative client is usually their worst client, but all the rules sort of go out the window with the former president. He's not one to stay quiet on most subjects, if any subject, and certainly has determined that one strategy he has for fighting this, the various criminal probes into him, is to litigate them in the courts of public opinion. He has been defiant throughout. This is throughout his career, not just the last few years, weeks, or months. And I expect he will continue to stay plenty talkative in the weeks ahead, sometimes to the distress of his own attorneys. When he talks at rallies or when he comments on these cases, he sometimes corroborates information that's quite helpful to the prosecutors or investigators. But he is his own client and takes his own counsel first and foremost.
Absolutely, but he's swimming in very dangerous waters now because there's a lot piling up against him. Do you think it will eventually be his downfall?
It certainly could be. I'll say that the charges are quite serious. The latest charges, the federal charges, they have to do with willful retention of and mishandling of top secret classified documentation about military capabilities of the United States, about military capabilities of some of our allies and some other countries around the world, including nuclear capabilities. These are documents that go to the heart of what we expect in a commander-in-chief and what we expect in the country's top diplomat. And they are quite serious. He may find that this is a different zone than he's faced before, and some of his familiar tactics may be less effective in this particular arena.
Yeah, absolutely. And to that point, national security experts in the US are reacting with horror to the emerging revelations about what you are talking about right there, Trump's handling of government secrets.
Yeah, and these aren't just any government secrets. They're really at the heart of national security information about military weaknesses and strengths and particular plans and nuclear capabilities, among the most sensitive classified information that anyone has anywhere. And the indictment, at least, alleges that he not only retained these documents, that he knew he shouldn't have them and kept them anyway, and enjoyed sort of showing them off to friends and acquaintances in a bragging way. That's incredibly dangerous, not just for our own national security, but it limits the extent to which allies may be willing to work with the United States. And that's a quite serious affair. Anyone who's worked in government for any period of time gets trained in the handling of classified documents. And I can promise you, one thing that does not include is storing them in cardboard boxes in a shower, much less showing them to people who don't have a distinct need to see them. So the national security apparatus is rightly quite distressed. These are serious charges based on some serious conduct.
We've been saying this for a number of weeks, a number of months. Every time something comes up with Donald Trump regarding courts, law, legal issues, he seems to get a sugar hit in the Republican White House race. What do you make of all of this? We're seeing the others now start to talk, start to get on the trail more aggressively.
Yeah, I think that's right, that his base loves him no matter what he does. He famously said that he could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot someone, and his voters would still clap and cheer. We are starting to see some of his rivals for the Republican nomination speak out about the conduct. Many have been quiet, but two in particular, Nikki Haley and Tim Scott, have both said that these charges are serious and they go to the heart of what a someone auditioning for the role of president should be concerned with. I think that as the trial proceedings progress, you may see other Republican candidates and other senior Republican officials start to take more of a position. But this is still Donald Trump's party. He was the Republican president. He is the Republican frontrunner. And many in the party feel they owe their allegiance to him. And so you have many that are reluctant to criticize what would be automatically subject of critique for anyone else in the country. Indeed, what was automatically subject for critique for Donald Trump in 2016, one of his principal campaign issues was allegedly Secretary Hillary Clinton's mishandling of classified emails. And that also shows up in the indictment as evidence that he knew about the serious information that he had at his disposal and that he knew about the proper way to handle it and not handle it.
Yeah, that comment about the shooting in Manhattan was obviously scandalous and had a lot of people raising their eyebrows, but it leads to this next point. President Joe Biden has spoken to gun safety advocates and appeared exacerbated, didn't he, when he said we have a mass shooting every damn day. We're not finished, but really when you look at it from a historical point of view, can they really do anything?
They've tried and they will try again. There's been success in the past. There's even been success in this administration. For the first time in 30 years, the administration worked in a bipartisan manner, I should emphasize, to update some of our red flag laws, to close some loopholes about who is able to gain access to firearms. It is a tremendously contentious issue in the United States, more so than in many countries around the world, about the way that we treat firearms and firearm safety and the way that our gun culture happens to work. It is troubling, to say the least, that he's right. There's not only a mass shooting every day, sometimes there's more than one per day. And it is difficult not to become numb to the violence at this point. But there are advocates on every side of the issue who are very much interested in keeping it front and center of the public debate. And for communities that have been affected by gun violence, obviously these scars never go away.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And look, as we wrap it up, look, I've been to the United States many times. I love the country. But as a citizen, if you forget about your role in life as a citizen, how do you feel?
It's difficult to watch. I mean, there are some magnificent things about this country. I absolutely love this country that I was born in and found a home in. But we don't do everything right. We have a lot to learn from other countries around the globe. And particularly the way that we treat firearms in this country is something where we could learn a lot from other established, productive democracies.
Justin, great to chat with you. Let's do it again soon.
Absolutely.